Hey everyone, my name is Kris, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an honest look at my Amazon FBA business in 2020. I'm going to be going over everything that happened, the good and the bad. We're going to look at the numbers. I'm going to show you profit, as well as the most profitable items and also the items that we lost some money on. And then at the end, I'm going to go over my strategy for 2021, and hopefully you can implement some of that, whether you're an experienced seller or you're just getting started. So let's get to it. Now, really quick before we get started, if you haven't downloaded this free book on my website, chrismccauley.com, you can, just to give you a high-level overview of what it is that I do. And also you can check out my new book that I will be finished with in about 30 to 60 days. The wait list is also on my website, so be sure to check that out. Let's get to it. And if you do find any value in this video and you want to support the channel, I consider you smashing that like button and subscribing for more videos like this. Okay, so right away, I just want to go ahead and jump straight to the numbers. And at a high level overview, we did 2.6 million in the business this year. And I want to talk about some things that happened at the beginning of 2020. So let's go ahead and talk about this. It was at the beginning of 2020, my business partner and I, we made the decision to get a warehouse and completely restructure our business. Now, can you do Amazon without a warehouse or anything like that? Absolutely. And from my experience, I usually see people start getting into warehouse rentals and whatnot around the 7-figure mark. Some people do it a little before and some people do it a little after. It just depends on maybe what you're selling and the logistics of where you're at and all those other things. But regardless, we decided to make that move. Now, while we were doing that, COVID was happening and all of our manufacturers that we were purchasing from were on back order. And so everything was kind of up in the air. And at that same time, Amazon was only letting us send in supplements because of the COVID restrictions. They were only allowing us to send in, I believe, 5 categories at the time. And luckily for us, one of the categories that we sold, supplements, we could still send those in, but everything else had to be merchant fulfilled. And we just did not explore that option at the time. So that was a mistake that we made. But anyway, these numbers that you're seeing on the Amazon account side of things really only transpired mainly between June and December. So we did 1.9 million in revenue on Amazon really in 6 to 7 months. And so I'm pretty pumped about that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these numbers a little bit. So I'll show you where they're coming from too. So we had 2 Amazon accounts. The first Amazon account, which I'm going to show you the statistics on, we did about 1.3 million in revenue. The second Amazon account we were selling on was about $600,000. So 1.9 million in revenue there. Now, we had an eBay account and we roughly did around $150,000 on that eBay account. And distribution orders. So between January and June, because we weren't selling as much on Amazon, we were doing a lot of distribution orders in our mentorship group. So we sell items to people in our mentorship program, and they can purchase these for a profit to sell. Now, we were relying heavily on this because we were saving up our money to get into a warehouse, and that roughly cost us about $20,000. And I've talked about that in a couple of other videos. And then lastly, we have inventory at the end of the year, which is about $145,000. Now, estimated profit on all of this is around $400,000. And the reason why I say estimated is because our bookkeepers aren't done yet tallying everything. So I don't know that to be certain, but I do know the ballpark in which that is. And so across all streams of income outside of this, it was about 400,000. Just Amazon sales, probably around 300,000, I would say. So let me go ahead and get into the numbers and we can go ahead and go from there. So first, let's go ahead and look at the main account that we have hooked up to Inventory Lab. And Inventory Lab is a software that allows you to really track your data. And I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what you're doing, whether you're running a restaurant or you're running a McCauley store, you need to know your numbers. And knowing your numbers is one of the most integral parts of running a business. And it'll allow you to it's one of the main reasons why businesses go under. So really quickly, you can see that in we really did a lot of sales. I mean, look, this is what I was just telling you guys. Mainly, most of our sales, we did $21,000 between January and June. And then June, things really started picking up. And then August is when things really started getting crazy. And then in December, we did $336,000 on that account. Now, I would not pay attention to these profit numbers. They are close, but I mean, they could be off by 20% positive or negative. The main reason I get in here, I don't really get in my profit and loss section much in Inventory Lab. It's really just for the sake of showing you guys this one main account. And so that's the main reason why when I'm looking at this, and I'll get into my 2021 goals, but even though we only did, 2.5 million this year, I think we can do a lot better. So I'll get into that later on. Now, let's go ahead and look at our categories, right? Now, I get asked this all the time. Kris, what categories do you sell? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one thing. This is just one Amazon account. The $150,000 of eBay sales, those were mainly video games and toys and games. The other Amazon account that we did about $700,000 on, I don't have those exact numbers. Those were mainly electronics and video games as well. So the numbers might be more skewed here, looking, towards health and beauty. But if you've been following my journey for a while now, you know that I'm big on health and beauty. And so supplements. And you can see that we did over 20,000 units in supplements. And we did over 9,000 units on this account in video games. So, you can see total profit, you can see ROI, all that stuff. And when it comes to video games, your margins, that is pretty typical. You're going to get lower margins, but it's fine because some of these units are moving so quickly. Like we had one unit, and I'll show it to you guys here, that we got into in Q4. We sent in 300 units and they all sold out in a couple of days. So, okay, now that you know our categories that we're dealing with, let's go ahead and get into ASIN profitability, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and start with the ones that are biggest wins. And I'm only going to show you a couple because I don't want to show you all of them because some of them are still selling. But this right here, so we have this Cronus controller, and we did about $27,000 in profit on that. Now, I do want to say that even though we have refunds over here, that does count. Inventory Lab does account for refunds. And so we did about $27,000 in profit on that one SKU, and that was just across about a half a month. So we did that in about 2 weeks on one SKU, and that was a 75% ROI. So that was probably our best item all year. Now, the next item that I want to talk about is these Nikon controllers. These were kind of, hit or miss for us. We did about $18,000. We did have some refunds here, as you can see, but we still did, after all those refunds, $18,000 in profit. I do want to say that when you are looking at these profit numbers, they are going to be a little bit lower because it doesn't account for us getting our money back on the ones that Amazon deems non-sellable. So when Amazon deems something non-sellable, that inventory that you have just doesn't go to waste, right? You can end up reselling that on eBay as used or sending that back into Amazon as used. Yeah, so there's multiple ways there that it just won't account for. Now that we got into those, and also I want to show you my least profitable SKUs. And we're going to show you, so this Thrustmaster wheel right here, that is not accurate because we had to do a removal order on that. So this, we did not lose $4,000 on. That is wrong. But I will say the Red Barn dog slices, it looks like we lost about $2,000 on. So that was our least profitable item. And we did not look at the Keepa, which Keepa is this tool that measures sales consistency. It did not have a good enough sales consistency, which is why we lost money on that SKU. Yeah, so that was our biggest loss. And I'm looking at our other biggest loss here, the NBA 2K21, and that was the same thing. So, make sure that you're looking at the sales consistency. Also asking your suppliers that how much quantity do they have. That's a very important question because it can help you gauge the market a little bit better. And the more questions you can ask and the better picture you can get of the market, the more better off you're going to be, and less likely something like this is going to happen. And lastly, I did want to say that we did have about $150,000 of inventory near the end of the year that's still selling. So, you saw our profits, but we also still have $150,000 of inventory as well at the end of the year, not counting what we're already purchasing now. My goal for 2021 is this. First off, I think it's better more than ever to start an Amazon business. When people are talking about new sellers signing up every single day and all these other things that come with, it's saturated, it's just not true. I want to stress that. I think there are so many opportunities if you are going about it creatively and asking yourself and from a problem-solving perspective. And my goal for 2021 is we are setting certain metrics. So before it was all revenue-based. It was all revenue metrics. But this year, I want to spend $200,000 a month. That's $50,000 a week. And I want, after all fixed and variable costs, 30% ROI on that 200K spend. That comes out to be 30K profit for myself and my business partner. So 60K total, 30K profit for me and him, just generating from this Amazon business. And ideally, that's kind of where I want to see things. And I want to work less. So if we can do those numbers, if we spend 200K a month, that may come out to be anywhere from, depending on the margins, $300,000 to $400,000 of maybe $500,000 in revenue. So we're looking at a $3.5 to $5.5 million store. And we may not be an 8-figure seller, which is something I think I was kind of attached to earlier on, even so much last year. I just really wanted to be an 8-figure Amazon seller. But if I can work 2 hours a day and my business partner can work 2 hours a day and we can generate that kind of profit, and then that's what we're going to do. And that's the plan. And then we can get into other business ventures. Now, the last thing I want to say is more so than ever, I'm preaching this is just having a deep playbook. So this is our last strategy is just having a deep playbook, which we currently have. So many times in our past, and I've seen other sellers like this too, they're too reliant on one or two suppliers, just like an NBA team, right? Imagine if LeBron James didn't have any surrounding players on his NBA team. And if LeBron James goes down, that entire NBA squad or team is done for, right? Now, if you build up depth and you build up a bench and you build up some key surrounding players, it's obviously not good if your main supplier goes down, but you're not a fish out of the water, right? You can still operate, you can still function, and it's just diversifying yourself. And so that's just something we've been doing, and I just want to continue to do. But that's the strategy for 2021. In my next video, I'm going to talk about our first week back in business. January 4th, everything opened up. I'm going to go over some orders that we placed and some ROIs on those orders and go from there. And before I close out, I want to announce that I will be launching a free mini course that is available on my website. All you have to do is go to my website, go to the free mini course section, download it, and you can get about 3 videos, close to about an hour's worth of information that covers everything from what you need all the way to selling your first item. So that's available now. Check it out on my website. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.